Total War Star Wars game is currently in development at Creative Assembly. The officially licensed game will be one of 3 the studio is currently working on. Stick around to find out how this fits into the Star Wars video game universe. I'm Brennan Sem for the New Wave Nerds. Like and subscribe below for more nerd content and commentary. Now let's read the news. From Dual Shockers, Creative Assembly reportedly working on a Total War Star Wars game. A reliable source has told Dual Shockers that one of 3 new Total War games in development will be Star Wars themed. A total of 3 new Total War games are in development at Creative Assembly, with one of them being an officially licensed Star Wars game, Dual Shockers has learned. The last Total War game to be released was last year's Total War Pharaoh. The last Total War game to be released was last year's Total War Pharaoh. That's a lot of last and Total Wars in that sentence. Which was developed by Creative Assembly, Sophia, and published by Sega for Windows. A Mac OS version was also released, but published by Feral Interactive. Notably, I think the Total War Pharaoh was off to a bit of a lackluster start. I think its sales were a little bit disappointing, but has since then notably released, I think, a large free update that expands upon the story and all that, and is supposed to be supposed to make the game a little bit more enjoyable and a little more similar to the counterparts. So I've never actually played a Total War game before. I am into strategy. I'm into some RTS games, and I'm definitely into the genre. I enjoy taking my time and really thinking about the consequences of this move and working on a battle on a very large scale. But I haven't played Total War, so I'm likely going to get into the series following this announcement. Again, despite the fact that I'm not very familiar with the actual series here, I'm glad that we're getting more Star Wars games. Obviously, we've had Jedi Fallen Order, which I played and absolutely loved. We've talked about that ad nauseum. Survivor was the second one, which was equally well received. So I'm here definitely for more Star Wars games for sure. Notably, we also have the cinematic narrative-driven Eclipse coming out. Actually, I don't believe they've given us a release date last I knew, but definitely go give the trailer a watch for that. It looks absolutely incredible. And so not only am I glad that we're getting more Star Wars games, I'm glad that we're really branching out a little bit here. This is going to be the first Star Wars strategy game in over a decade, I think, or perhaps just under a decade. I believe the last one was, it would have been over... How long is this? Sorry, I'm trying to do math in my head right now. It's over a decade, because the last one, not obviously, my obviously was in reference to the number of years, not to the actual game. But the last game was 2006's Empire at War, which I believe is currently sitting at overwhelmingly positive on the Steam review system. So depending on why don't I, just give that one a look to see how much it costs, because that actually might be fun to revisit this old vintage game and maybe even stream it, see if it still holds up, and it'll hold us over for strategy until this Total War Star Wars game comes out. So the first one in a very long time. I'm glad that we are returning to some different genres other than just the general story-driven. Man, I don't even know how would you consider this the Star Wars Jedi trilogy? Just like an action adventure. I don't know what the actual. I'm at a blank here, guys. Let's see, Empire at War. Why don't we just switch back? Oh, it's only $20. That's not bad. It's not loading. Why isn't there we go? Only $20. That's not terrible. Oh, wow, only $200 for the entire Star Wars collection. Now we're talking. Wait, what is this? Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes. I've never heard of this one. Oh, it's a co-op game too? That'd be fun. Okay, but anyways, so Star Wars Empire at War, what year was this? Yeah, 2006. So definitely just under 20 years here. Wow. Oh, that's fun.
I hate to say it, but this fight did actually happen on Endor. It's factually inaccurate. it's not true. It happened on the Death Star, so I'm no longer going to be playing this game.
But maybe I'll give that a shot. We'll see, or maybe I'll just play one of the other Total War games. That'd actually probably be a better use of my time to maybe get familiar with the mechanics. But all of this, to say that I'm glad that we're sort of branching out from the recent gaming genres that we've seen. I think definitely. I mean, I've talked before about how Star Wars is just an amazing universe. I think there's plenty to be explored all over the place. I think, this is obviously, Total War is obviously a strategy game. I think there's certainly room for a really fun, like XCOM style tactical game with, a squad of stormtroopers or Republic troopers, I guess. I suppose the question that I have is, like, how does this Total War game fit into the universe? I guess is this going to be the type of thing where you can just drop in at any era of time, or is there going to be a specific campaign? I believe Total War Pharaoh, which was again the most recent Total War game, I think that one did have a campaign that was localized in a specific area. So I guess my question is, Total War Star Wars. Where are we going to be? Do we think we're during the Empire? Is it Empire versus Rebellion? Is it Republic versus Separatist? First Order versus the, what do they call themselves? Is it the New Republic? Yeah, just the New Republic. I don't know. Curious. Let's see. So the last strategy game was Empire of War, which, based off the images there, would have been... mostly original trilogy, I suppose. There were AT-ATs and obviously Obi-Wan fighting, what's-his-face, Darth Vader. That was embarrassing. So maybe we'll go a different route. Maybe we'll do the early, the Republic era, the Galactic Republic era, that is, during the era of Phantom Menace, perhaps during the Clone Wars. I think that could be fun. I don't know, I guess. And again, this is more... a commentary on my lack of knowledge for the Total War games. How does the story work in all of these? I'm very curious. Do you have to play a specific group, or can you pick who you want to play? I don't know. But I'm absolutely excited to play this. I've been certainly hankering for a strategy game for quite a long while. Let's get back to this Dual Shockers article here. While Pharaoh was a much more grounded approach compared to previous entries, such as Total War Warhammer and Total War Three Kingdoms, the series is allegedly returning to the fantasy route with a new Star Wars entry. As of October 2023, Total War Star Wars is reportedly the second of 3 new Total War games that are allegedly in the works at Creative Assembly. Speaking a little too fast. With new Total War games often released annually, aside from 2021, which was the first year without a mainline Total War game since 2014, it's possible that Creative Assembly is gearing up to release Total War Star Wars in the next couple of years. But with 3 new games reportedly in the works, there's no way to know which is the furthest along in development. So in this article, at the beginning of it, they say that it's reportedly the second of 3 new Total War games. But then down at obviously the last line, they say there's no way to know which is furthest along in development. So I guess I'm confused as to why you would include the second of 3 descriptor here. That sort of implies that this will be the second game to release, no? Which presumably, I guess, I don't think there's been one this year yet. 2023 was the year of Pharaoh. So I guess I don't know. Presumably, then, I suppose Total War Star Wars could come out in 25. At the latest, I would assume, I guess, 26. I don't know. This is weird. It's a weird way that they did this. I don't know why they would describe it as a second of 3, and then furthermore say that there's no way to know which is furthest along in development. Second sort of implies, a distance, I guess, or a level of completion, I suppose. I don't know. Currently, Creative Assembly Sophia is hard at work on a new large-scale update for Total War Pharaoh. In a new blog post from the development team earlier this month, Creative Assembly reaffirmed the intention to, quote, increase the size of the campaign map and introduce even more cultures and ways of engaging in glorious strategic conquest, end quote. So these are some images. I guess they don't... Are these... Okay, well, this is clearly from, I guess, Total War Pharaoh. I assume that they all are, then. It's weird that they're not labeled. That seems... Oh, there's only 6. Like, a bit of an oversight. But are these taken in-game? Like, in... Are these stills from the game? Like, I don't understand. I guess I thought... When I think strategy, I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm really out of the loop with these games. Obviously, they've been going for a very long time. I'm certainly behind in this this nerd niche, I guess. The studio went on to confirm that a, quote, vast free update that significantly reworks the existing campaign mode already available in Pharaoh's base game will be released later this year. Quote, the update will usher in a host of new exciting additions whilst also implementing some familiar content from its Bronze Age brother, a Total War saga, Troy, Creative Assembly said. As the update will be implementing some big changes to the game, Creative Assembly says it will be taking steps to ensure players still have the choice to experience the original campaign should they wish to. Okay, so, well, at least this seems to me like the kind of company that is at least, you know, going... They try to take the opinions of the fans, of their customers, into account. There are some games and some studios that... let's just say, do not have the same, how do I put this? Do not have the same desire to, you know, what am I trying to say? Placate their fans, I guess, is a sort of has a negative connotation, though, so that doesn't feel quite like the right word. But I'm glad that we're seeing the more and more of these sort of AA video game studios that seem to have the player's best interests at heart. Obviously, we have this from Creative Assembly, you know, making changes to their games due to disappointing reviews or whatever, and in the hopes that they can, you know, negate some of the negative effects of the first game, or of the release version of the game. That's the word I was looking for. So obviously we've got Creative Assembly, and then we have the Helldivers studio, which has been very vocal about the fact that they support the fans and all that, and there's a whole thing, and they even, you know, change quite a bit of their policies and actions based off of the reaction of the fans. So I am glad personally to see more and more studios actually doing that rather than just attempting to, you know, go for the paycheck or whatever, which I think the industry has sort of struggled and suffered from for a very long time. So I don't know. I'm excited for this game. This is definitely, this announcement at least has piqued my interest in this franchise, something that I've known quite a bit, or I haven't known quite a bit, but I've known about for quite a bit of time. Obviously, like I said, they release one every year. I'm fairly familiar with the ads. I've seen a million of them by now. And so it's given me a good excuse to hopefully try out this new video game series and hopefully have a new favorite. But let me know down below. Are you a fan of the Total War games? Have you played any of them before? Are you excited for this Star Wars game? Or like some of the other people who've read this news, would you like them to just return to the more historical setting? I know that that's been a complaint that I've heard. So what do you think? Are you going to play this? Let me know down below. Like and subscribe the video for more content, and we will be back here tomorrow with another news segment, and I will see you guys then.